You can run, but you can't hide. Can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Can't can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide.
And we are 100% live, guys. Oh my god, this has been such a week. Insane volatility. But not to worry, because I'm right here, right now, to walk you through the price action. We're gonna wait a few moments till people can roll in. It's kind of like a little bit of a spontaneous stream. And to be honest, I just went out to dinner and I ate really fast so that I could get back home and start up the stream so that I could give you guys an update on Bitcoin. Because boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, what a week it has been. It has been... The beast has awakened, ladies and gentlemen. The beast has awakened. Let me really fast, so quickly double check if the sound is working. And yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right, so we see people starting to roll in over here. Let me just check out, as usual, who is here in the chat. We got Crypto Cavs, we got Jeroen, Oscar, Arati, Alex, and the Nightbot. So welcome, guys. Welcome to the stream. It's going to be a good one, guys. It's going to be a really, really good one because in the tribe, in the Discord community, this week has been nothing but a blast. We are about live for, well, exactly 1 week, actually, now that I think of it. Didn't even thought of that, but exactly 1 week ago, we went live. Tribe Labs was born and came into existence, and since then we have been just learning and thriving within the Discord. It has been such a blast to just see people progress so incredibly quickly. It's literally been a blast. I'm going to show you a thing or two in a second, but I really want to wait till some more people have the time to join in. And then I'm simply going to walk you through the price section, because we have been trading this move, this entire move, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen a move, crazy move. We have seen a move from 25%, literally 25%. Insane. And don't tell me that I did not warn you guys that this could go up really hard, really fast. Because as a matter of fact, on a lot of public live streams during the Crypto Compass, I have literally said, well, really, since March, I have been saying almost in every stream where I wanted to focus on the swing trades, I have said every single time that as long as we do not fall back within the old range, which is set at around that $24,000 mark, I still foresee higher prices. And look at what we have done. We have come back down into this support zone, not only marking out this consolidation area, but also the entire range that we have been in prior to that, that has lasted over 6 months, where I continuously said this is strong support. As long as we do not get acceptance back within that range, I expect higher prices. And look at that, from that exact support region, not an exact level, from that support region, we have increased 25% in price. And we in Thrive Labs have been able to trade and observe the price section while coaching people through the trading sessions as we were approaching these lows, trading this from the exact low, giving us our new swing trade that I am currently set in, which I'm going to show you in a second. So yeah, nothing but a blast. We've day traded our way through this whole price action. Yeah, and what can I say? Look at the results, guys. And the reason why I was so interested in that long was only emphasized by this downwards sloping price action. We had all this crazy news coming out. We had, the SEC coming after the exchanges. We had lots of really popular crypto influencers hating on all kinds of different exchanges, and, a lot of FUD being spread around. And people were leaving the market, or people were continuing to short at the massive support levels. It all came together when all the stars aligned at the perfect place. Boom! Just out of nowhere. Well, not necessarily out of nowhere, but we got that increase in price. And ladies and gentlemen, whether you want to class this or attribute this rise towards like the whole BlackRock entering the crypto space or whatever, we don't care, because what we do, or what I do, and what I'm trying to teach you guys, is that the charts tell you the news. So give me a chart and I will tell you the news. And the news was that we are simply at support. There was a lot of fear in the markets. Those are facts. Those are facts that we could observe and see literally within the order flow. We saw people shorting at the very, very lows after a decrease in price of, from that $31,000 region initially, we have decreased 20% in price. And we saw people getting really scared, really afraid. Everybody left at this particular section. And also I gave the daily update. On the first day, this was, if I'm not mistaken, exactly 1 week ago, on the very first Crypto Compass update within the community, I said people are leaving the market. People are afraid, and therefore I think no matter what is going to happen, whether we break to the upside or to the downside, I think that is where the volume is going to come in. And surprise, surprise, we did break down into the support region, and we saw tons and tons and tons of shorts coming in, trying to trade the breakout. My guess is that they were looking at some kind of like a head and shoulders or whatever, which is not necessarily relevant to me. But anyway, they were expecting much lower prices right at support. Then we just stopped pretty much in the middle of nowhere, as people really were expecting that $24,000 to the dollar exactly, including myself, not going to lie. However, as the new data was being presented in the charts, it allowed me to get in pretty much from the exact low, not only once, not only twice, but 3 times in a row, getting the low on the day. How did I do that? Well, let me show you guys. Let me show you. And also let me back it up with some, with some actual proof, right? Because all the words that I'm telling here right now sound really pretty, but I'm going to show you and tell you exactly how I've traded this. So we had this drop over here coming out of this range. Really big drop, to be honest. Reaching into this support region. So we hit some levels, that's true, but originally I wanted slightly lower, because what levels did we had slightly lower? We had a daily level, for example, over here. We had some Fibonacci levels over there, which made much more sense for me at the time, that we would see just a slight drop further down, for example, towards here, and then get the move that I was anticipating upon. However, we didn't do so, which actually brewed up for this perfect storm. And now that I am looking at this current price action, it all makes sense, because first of all, we have people shorting the breakdown to the downside. Then we also have people waiting for long trades at the bottom, yet the shorts ultimately get squeezed out on the first rise, and the longs missed out on their trades. Now trying to FOMO in literally right here at the top, which is the reason why we are seeing so heavy volatility right here, right now at the top of the range. Is this bullish or is this bearish? That's what we're going to find out, and what I'm going to show you my thoughts on what I think is going to happen, because we do have really heavy volatility, and I do want to cover that. So essentially, how did we, in order to make sense of what is happening currently, you have to understand what has happened at the lows and why we had such an increase in prices that we did. What happened over here at the lows, right? So I told you already the story, support region, yada, yada, yada. Let's move on slightly. What we did over here, we had a small bounce. Right? We had a low being put in and a high being put in. From that moment on, it allowed me to construct this sideways channel over here, right? Where I gave the first daily update, where I mentioned basically, okay, we are having literally before the move happened, right? We have our low of the range and we have our high of the range. What I am going to look for is I'm going to either for an increase in price so that we take out the highs, and then, or better even, we take out the low one more time, reclaim the range, and that could provide me the opportunity for initially a day trade, right? But if we get back above the range due to the SPs set over there from the drop the day that we got before, I do see heavy potential that we would see a further increase in price. As you can see, I wrote that earlier on in the day. What happened later on in the day? We actually did have our SFP giving us our first long entry on the day, right? Giving us that full rotation, boom, for a day trade, done and dusted, profitable trade. However, I also took a swing trade over there as well. And we busted out of this channel, backtested it on the day. Then we put in another range the day afterwards, where we were having very bearish CVD divergence. At the time, I classed this as leading CVD divergence. However, lots of longs were opening up here. And ultimately, we did have a drop to the downside, which I, at the time, did not necessarily expect to come in at that magnitude. However, that didn't stop me from being prepared of the levels below, right? Because there was still a potential with all the longs getting stopped out. I was originally looking for a long at the bottom simply of the range, but then we had this drop to the downside, and being prepared, watching for that backtest and the next level, having that already prepared in advance and shared in the group, we had that drop to the downside, allowing me to take that trade literally right at the low. And that is also the moment when I thought, you know what, let's do a bonus stream. So we have our daily updates here, but I'm also doing these bonus streams. And one of those is me going through the order flow, exactly explaining and trading the move now, live at the moment, in the moment, where I simply took the trade, walked everybody through what I was looking for next. And I also said there, okay, if we manage to reclaim this this local range that I just showed you, so I'm talking about this range, this is going to be an extremely, extremely bullish candle, right? As I said, like that was indeed a large drop. If we can reclaim the range, I would say this was an extremely bullish move. Now 24.15, very important level to reclaim, right? And so we did, and look at what happened afterwards, guys. It brought us all the way up, literally to $30,000, allowing us to trade this once again, right? Giving us the rise up, like pretty insane, you know, pretty insane. And then we have the third setup where you could have longed also the beginning of this latest move, which I also shared in the group, where we were looking at this range yesterday where I said like, okay, if you pull a fixed range throughout the range, it is giving us a value area high level over here, right? As you can see, value area high, and slightly below that, we have our golden pocket set over there, which is where I am looking to trade this long once again. Surprise, surprise, what happened? We dropped to this region once again, and from there on out, proven to be the exact low, and boom, there we go. As you can see, a lot of information I'm already giving. We're just only 15 minutes into the stream, but as you can see, a lot of information has already now been given out in the stream, you know, and also showing you that there's already over 1,000 posts made within the Discord over the last week or so, 1,906 posts. So it's very active in the Discord, and yeah, we were just going really, really, really hard, and it also shows in the results. Where last week I was looking at, you know, people were getting used to the Discord, but now we see people posting their P&L, wins are being shared, but also losses are also being shared, including myself. I also took a loss today myself, which I also reflected upon within the group, like, okay, what did I do wrong? A little bit of a silly trade, but I'm gonna come clean, be totally honest, this is what I did wrong, and this is how I can learn from it, and I wanted to share that with the group as well, so that we can move on simply to the next trade and do better next time. Ultimately leaving me set in a massively profitable, crazy profitable swing trade at the moment, 22% profit. And that is a short summary of what happened in only just 1 week time. So now let's move on to the current price action. Let me take a sip of my coffee. Right, so currently I am looking at the following price action. I'm also going to show you the order flow and what I'm looking at right now, right? So let me just calm down a little bit, because actually it is way too hot to be so excited about everything, because with all these lights here in the studio that I'm sitting in right now and having 30 degrees outside, it is not very cold. It's the opposite, quite the opposite. Very, very, very hot. But okay, let's keep our calm. Get back down to earth and focus on the charts, right? So $30,000, really massively important level. As a matter of fact, to be really honest with you guys, all the resistance levels have pretty much been just, you know, smashed through, melted away, like it was nothing, like it was absolutely nothing. And this is, you know, even though I've been trading this asset for a long time now, 4 or 5 years now, it remains amazing to see how strong Bitcoin can move if it wants to. It's just batshit crazy. Not going to lie about that. Originally, $26,000 was a very, very, very important level for me to reclaim, because that would show that first real sign of or early sign of strength for that bounce to actually get some more flash, right? So we busted through that level like it was nothing at first. Then the next level was 26,400, which marked the beginning of the really big range that we have been in since March, right? Beautiful, very technical SR flip, backtest, put in a range, alongside it, never really lost the level again, and we simply moved up to there where the next, for me, the single most important level of the entire region since March, like I'm talking about this entire section, $28,000 was literally the most important level to be reclaimed. After we would have reclaimed it, I said, then we have definitely $30,000 on the table. So we also melted through that point of control, even to the value area high. If you look at it on a lower time frame, it was so perfectly technical. It is just mind-blowing how, even though Bitcoin moved really fast, it has been just incredibly technical, right? That point of control gave a minor reaction, flipping that into support, not necessarily the point of control, but that was a weekly level that got tapped almost to the dollar exactly. And we simply moved up, only to wake up this morning, first of all, in really big profits and above the value area of the entire range, pretty much obliterating all the important resistances of the entire range, leaving us with only from there on out 2 levels left that we need to reclaim. And we are now at the very last level. Let me show you. So originally what I said, okay, we have these 3 highs. A lot of liquidity set over there, right? A lot of liquidity. Because these highs have been tested, never taken out anymore, but there was a lot of opportunity to short here. And a lot of people did. I myself, I did not short that because I wanted higher prices still at the time, or I was looking to long simply lower, and that is exactly what I have been doing. But these 3, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4 highs really are a massive liquidity pool. So if anything, after we have breached those volume levels, this becomes very likely that we're going to take this out. And look at that, we are now having that liquidity being taken, and currently it looks like we are trading below those levels again. So currently we are in the process of taking out this liquidity, and we will have to wait a little bit to see if we're gonna have, like, let's say a candle close below these levels, after which we can potentially see a retracement from here on out. I'm not necessarily saying a complete reversal, but I'm saying a retracement. This also coincides really nicely with human psychology, because by this point, let's be honest, or actually let's just show some proof, or actually let's just go to ExoCharts. I already have it open here. We have literally 18, 3 plus 16. So what is this in total? This is about 40 to 50 million longs opening up after we've broken out, after we have broken out of that value area high. So this is a clear sign that a lot of people are now anticipating on that massive breakout to the upside. And do not get me wrong, I do fully expect higher prices, because there's only one level left after these 3 highs, which is simply the top of the range. However, Bitcoin is not Bitcoin if it just does that just like that. I mean, judging from the levels that we've just melted down, it is definitely possible, but as a professional trader, you can simply not just expect that and take that for granted. If it happens like it did, which is great, but it doesn't mean that it's going to happen to all levels from now on. Therefore, we do have to keep our head on our shoulders, stay calm and collected, and simply look for a reaction at each of those levels. Now, this is now one of these levels, and this is the last one. And what I want to say with this is essentially that it rarely just goes like that we're just doing like this. It just rarely goes like this, because you have to get into the mind of, let's say, the average Joe. The average Joe is by now thinking like, oh, Bitcoin is going up, right? So let's long, let's leverage long, let's sell my house, sell my kids, and go long and hope for the best, 100K next, right? As professional trader, or if you are an investment firm or whatever, people know this. So usually what happens is we reach those levels initially, And then we get some messing around, right? Shaking out the weak hands. And that is what I believe is currently happening. We're getting rid of the weak hands here. We are stopping out the longs, or longs are now currently taking profit that are already long from much lower, such as myself, for example, right? It's a take profit area for me, whether we are going to see higher prices or not. As a trader, you have to take profits because in the end, unrealized profits are not real profits, right? And I've literally seen nobody go broke from simply taking profits. After a 22% move, I think it's fair and sensible to at least bank some profits and enjoy life a little bit, right? And that is, for example, what I've done and what I think you should do. And that is also what I heavily emphasized in the group today. You know, like, okay, guys, we are having volatility. I do expect higher prices, but you have to take profits because otherwise, what's it worth? You know, what's it worth? Unrealized profits are not real profits. So currently, I think simply it is the longs from lower are taking profits, and with that, the late longs are also now getting stopped out. Now they're getting afraid. Only for price, I think we will see higher prices. To continue on, leaving the weak hands behind, only for this to repeat higher up. And that is what I think is going on right now. So I still expect higher prices. Why do I expect higher prices, you might ask yourself? Well, simple enough. Market structure hasn't changed one single bit. Yes, we had a retracement. It's quite a big retracement. We have a retracement of 3%. Big, big retracement, to be fair. Especially for day trading. If you can get 3% out of a day trade, perfect, you know, that's quite a lot actually. As for scalping, usually I'm looking for, let's say, 0.3, 0.5% moves. So anything larger than that for me is already a gift, you know, let alone 20%, which obviously is not a day trade by now. So don't get confused with that. So that is, I think, what is going on currently. And as long as we do not literally get back into that value area, I would say price remains very bullish. Price really remains very bullish. As long as we do not drop below that 28,000, let's keep it at 26,000, like to keep it easy. $26,000 region, 28,800. Apologies, my letters are so incredibly small over here. Maybe I need new glasses. 28,800. As long as we do not lose this region, right? As long as we do not lose this, the probabilities that we're going to see higher prices is simply much higher. And on top of that, we've already taken out everything. So I'm also thinking, like, why not at the very least, test this high as well and see what we get from there, right? It is very common for Bitcoin to do these kind of things, right? Just having this really big move up, coming at that last resistance where everybody is trading a breakout, only to have then that retracement range on here for a while, get people confused again, only then to have like this, this little retracement again, and then boom, do something similar, right? That is what I expect is definitely in the cards to happen. So I see in the corner of the chat some funny comments, make me laugh. I do think I need new glasses, or I need just a higher resolution screen. This is on 4K, right? So maybe I just need like the old school 720p screens. So at least the letters are bigger. That was a funny comment, mate. What am I looking for next? What you guys all might want to see. By the way, guys, do this. Do subscribe. Do hit the bell and hit the like buttons if you like this content. Packed with information as usual. If you're interested in joining the tribe, by the way, have a look at the website. Check it out. Yeah, and I'm really happy to see you over there and welcome you and help you get consistent in your day trading approach, because that is what we are doing over there. Right, so levels to the above, right? As you can see, there's not much. That's because I need to do analysis. So let's do that. Let's do that. Levels above us. In terms of highs, we have this high set over here, $31,000. Yeah, well, literally $31,000. And then ultimately we have $32,000 as well. I'm rounding it off a little bit, but basically these two highs. If we reclaim this level, this is important to know, then the first real resistance coming up next, in my opinion, is going to be $38,000. This is from the top of my head because, as you can see, I don't have this analysis ready for you all. But I remember that this was really big resistance. Yeah, so we have this $39,000 region, right? We have that resistance just above us. Actually, let me just get that analysis back on. But first, I basically want to highlight something else. So let's just start off with that. If we get back above $32,000, this is really important to realize. We are actually back in a major channel that we have spent over 1.5 years in, right? If we get back into the channel, I think that's pretty healthy for the chart. That is pretty healthy for the chart. And the likelihood of this having been the bottom increases, albeit I'm still not overly convinced then that we are fully on in a bull market, because in order for that to happen, we need to reclaim $48,000 to $50,000 at the very least. I know this is really far away, but that is what I think. Until then, I am cautiously bullish. I'm trading longs, but I'm very aware that we might see yet another really significant downturn if we do not reclaim that $50,000. So heed my warning here. Do not get overly excited just because we reclaim that $30,000. There are far more important levels on this entire chart than just this $30,000. Yes, it's an important level right now, but ultimately that this entire region, this section, which starts at pretty much $38,000, right? Which start at pretty much $38,000 and kind of ends at $50,000. That is really one of the most important levels on the charts, because after all, if you're knowledgeable about Elliott waves, then this could still be wave A, wave B, wave C, lower prices. Could still be. And that is why we trade levels on the chart, so that we are prepared for what could potentially happen. That you can look out for, so that you can either take profits or look out for, let's say, a trend reversal, where you can simply, let's say if you're in a swing long, where you can decide then to close out of your trades or get into a short trades. And that is why it's important to be prepared for the levels to come. Not only for taking profits, but also for your entries, right? For your best entries. Because let's be honest, guys, because we longed here at the very lows of this move, I couldn't care less really what is happening over here, right? If we now start dropping down, and I close out of my long trade, let's say over here, who cares? Who cares that I missed the top? I mean, in the end, I still have made like nearly 20% profits on my trade. If you cannot be happy with these kind of percentages, then I think trading might not be the right thing for you, right? Then I think you're over expecting things from the market, and your expectations are just way off, right? So I really couldn't care less. And being in that trade from that low, I am now super relaxed. All I have to do now is just basically, work on the next levels that are ahead of me and just lean back, relax, and just see if we get a reversal. If we get a reversal, I can decide what to do. I have all the time in the world. I have multiple days. Unless we get like this flash crash, of course, like an anomaly that doesn't happen every single day. So you cannot expect that. Neither can you just out of nowhere expect these kind of increases just because you expect it, right? So that is why it's important to first of all take profits, but also important to get those entries. You don't have to go for the exact sniper entry dollar per se exactly, you know, because let's be honest, even in this very volatile move, we had multiple opportunities. This one being the most aggressive, this one slightly more conservative, but scary for many to take, right? And then we had our third entry. So there were a lot of possibilities to actually get into that long trade. Getting into long trades over here, I would say, is not the best idea because it's, you know, it's very easy to get stopped out, or it's just not the optimal place after a 20% rise to start looking for longs. That goes against my trading philosophy. So if anything, I'm not interested in shorts here, but if anything, I would say looking for short trades here is much better than looking for long trades. And keep in mind, not financial advice, and I'm also currently not looking for short trades at all because I'm expecting higher prices. Let the chart prove to me that we show some weakness, then I'm more than happy to switch my bias and more than happy to short. But at the moment, I do not see any of those signs. All I'm seeing currently is people taking profits, late longs getting wrecked, and, you know, some heroes trying to short the top. That's what I see, without any kind of confirmation. And that's the reason why I expect higher prices. Simple as that. As simple as that. We have a massive trending day on the TPO. Boom, 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 boom. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trending day. At the moment, and we are all above all the important levels, even the daily point of control shifting upwards right now, not being lost, actually building up over here. So at the moment, it looks healthy. It looks healthy. So doesn't look bad at all. Thinking, what should I say next? Right. Let me see. Do you know what? Let me pop out the chat and go over some questions. So just a summary. Upper levels for me, $38,000. Really important level. Need to do some analysis. We have some dailies over here. We have, if I'm not mistaken, what else? Let me actually get back onto that analysis. Maybe I have it on a different chart. Let's see. Oh man, it is so incredibly hot over here. All right. So we have daily level over here. We have, let me just quickly, this is on the Bybit chart. I do not trade on Bybit anymore, but obviously I've traded there for a while. So I still have some old analysis on there. All right. So we have a 382 coinciding with another more local golden pocket, right? So we have a, let me actually reproduce that and show you guys. So what are we looking at right now for the levels to the upside, backed up with some actual technical analysis? Makes sense. We have the 382 coming in at that $36,000 to be precise. And then I believe I did something along the lines of this, which is the right. So this is the first level, also backing up with that previous range over here, coming in at that $36,000 level. Then slightly above there, we have our daily level, which is set at that $38,000 level. And then pretty much we have then this old range. You could trade the old range level there for more like day trading or something like that. Where we have the $39,000, and then ultimately we have simply the high of the range, which is set at that $50,000. Not only proven by market structure, but also the midline of this really massive channel. And well, not on BitGet, because BitGet was not really a thing back then, but on Bybit at the time we have the point of control of that entire range, and thus really important level. So yeah, those are the levels above us. And then, I should also, of course, cover some levels to the downside. I think I actually already did that now. The heat is getting to me, guys. The heat is getting to me. The value area high. Right, I did mention that. the value area high set at that 28,000, the numbers I couldn't read, 28,000 to be precise, 672 and 50 cents I have it at. So as long as we stay out of there, I have no reason to think that this is bearish price action. Even if we get a larger rejection from the top, there's still potential for massive upside as long as we do not get back into the volume levels of this range. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, is what I think on the higher time frame on Bitcoin. I haven't worked on my Elliott wave count. I'll say this in advance. And I do want to update it. So I'm thinking whether I want to do that on stream or not. I might update my Elliott wave counts on stream to back up the whole idea. But essentially from... Yeah, you know what? Not gonna get into that. Not gonna get into that. I really need to work on that. So I don't want to give you guys wrong information. All right, so guys, if you have any questions, let me know in the chat, and I'm going to pop it out right now and run through some chats, through some questions, if you have them. If you have them. Looks like it's not working. Let me restore it. Looks like the whole chat is getting upset. Not the people in it, but actually, I don't know. I think the chat is bugged for some reason. Anyway, so let me see if we got something in the chat. I'm just gonna read it up. I'm gonna read it up because the chat's not working for me to pop it out right now. Write them up, guys, if you have any questions, and also hit those likes, because we need to get this information out there to educate everybody and not get the wrong information that is being spread around by many people. Like their crazy head and shoulders, falling wedges, blah blah. Yeah, just throwing that out there. Anyway. So I have a question. What do you, from Crypto Kevs, is asking, what do you think about funded trading? So I think you are referring to things like FTMO, for example. I think so. What you can do, what you can do is you can connect yourself to some trading firm, and well, basically, if you show some results, you can trade with them, for them, with some capital or something like that. I have never done it myself, so I don't really know exactly how it works, because I trade with my own money. What do I think of that? Well, I think it can be good if you want to, let's say, trade with higher position sizes. And you don't have the capital, for example. The downside of this is also, I think, that it's really easy. I mean, in the end, it's not really your own money, right? So I think that can definitely pose some dangers in two ways. For example, if you trade on a funded account, I think it can be a little bit misleading if you, let's say, also have a group or something like that, or if you're teaching people. I don't know. I think it can be a little bit misleading, because you don't really know if this person why he's trading with a funded account, for example. And on top of that, it is also not really trading with your own money. So I do think it can, in that context, it can be a little bit dangerous, while you might be taking bigger risks just to meet some kind of a target, for example. I think you need to be very disciplined in your mentality to be able to do that. But if you're just learning and you just obviously it also has good sides, right? So you don't have to be exposed with your own capital on, let's say, an exchange. So in that sense, it can be good. And of course, if you want to experience what it's like to trade with larger position sizes, then I think it can be very educational. So I would say I don't agree with it, but I also don't necessarily disagree with it. That's I guess what I would say about it. Yeah, personally, I don't know. I personally I would not do it because I would like to just keep all the profits for myself. Don't really want to share it with some kind of fund or something like that. So that's why I don't do it. I haven't never even considered it, to be fair. Right. Let me see, what else do we got. Thank you for the stream. Yeah, you're very much welcome. You're very much welcome. I felt like it was necessary to do because we do have like this crazy volatility out there. I felt obliged to you guys to give you a little bit of an update. Let's look at the current price action. It does look like we're getting some little bit of a bounce right now. It does look like we're getting a little bit of a bounce right now. This is current resistance. Yeah, there's really not that much resistance above us, unless it's freshly created. Let me actually cross-reference that on. Okay, so we have some confluence over here. The set at that 30,500 level. I'm simplifying the levels, by the way, guys. So I'm not calling out exact levels here. I'm calling out just, to keep it easy, 30,500 over here. Let me cross-reference that actually on a different exchange, like, for example, like Bybit. Let's see if there's some confluence over there. And there is clearly not. So we do have confluence on the daily level, right? That is... Where did I take that from? Okay, so yeah, we do have actually confluence. So on both exchanges, we have confluences, right? On Bybit, we have this daily level. On BitGet also, by the way, I just don't have it on. But we have the golden pocket over here. And we also have, on BitGet, we have a point of control over here. So there's some confluence over here. However, I don't really think it will be very strong resistance at the moment, because simply the underlying trend at the moment, like, it's proven to be just extremely, extremely strong. Originated from massive short squeeze, by the way, and along the lines, along this rise, it got actually supported by longs opening. And if they happen throughout the move, this can be classed as healthy. This can be classed as healthy because the move is being supported by volume, right? So yeah, I mean, literally, if you want to learn more about this, in the Discord group, we talk about this stuff all the time. You can ask literally anything you want, and yeah, I'm happy to explain it. I'm happy to explain it. I'm really liking to take my time to read all the questions really carefully and give you the best possible answer to provide this, accessible learning environment for you guys. And yeah, it's going really great. It's going really great. People are also now starting to know each other a little bit and sharing their thoughts with each other. So really, this community is really starting to, it makes me just really happy. It's really starting to be a community, and it's amazing to see. Really amazing to see, especially people getting so much value out of it. Like, they're learning a lot. I've gotten a comment of one member. I don't really know if he wants me to call out his name, but he was thanking me. He told me like, hey, I've been trading for 2 years now, and only being like 4 days or 3 days into this community, I've learned more than in the last 2 years of trading. So yeah, that's just really, really amazing. That keeps me going. That really gets me motivated and makes me happy to know that I'm able to help somebody, get on the right track of learning. So that's really fulfilling for me. All right, so we have some questions coming in. I was almost afraid that the chat really was broken, because normally you guys have some questions. Let me see if the chat is now working. Let me go through. Give me some moments to read the questions. I wanted to ask if you will be doing some promotions. We just did one, which was an early bird promotion where we did 20% discount At the moment, that discount has been, the offer has finished. So at the moment, there's no discount. Yeah, and at the moment, we don't have plans for any further promotions, because in the end, if you compare this to other groups as well, this is like literally half the price. So we do think that this is fairly priced. We might do some promotions in the future, but we currently don't have planned. We don't have it like actively planned. What we do have planned, by the way, is a lot of content. You know, we're gonna get. I'm actually building like new order flow templates, etc., which are also going to be released in the community. You know, so that you can have the exact same templates as that I'm using. And I'm also, you know, writing up like these little lessons in the chat, like I did today, for example. Where is this? Today I gave like a little written lesson on CVD, for example, right? So a little lesson written out with some examples where you can just learn the practical side of trading, which is what the Discord is really focused on. If you want to learn everything from scratch, yeah, then there's gonna be courses, but you know, they're not there yet. So it's really focused on the practical side of trading and putting things into practice. That's really what the focus is about. Of course, if you have questions about technical analysis, or if you don't know what is the correct Fibonacci pool, if it is from this low or that low, obviously you can ask that as well, right? So don't be shy. This also goes for the members that are now watching the stream, right? Let me see. If I would have known what you would have been saying right now to you. Hey, there we go. There we go. If I would known what you're saying right now 2 years ago, I would be richer than Elon Musk. Why not 2666? Oh yeah, that was actually quite funny. There was a little funny thing. I was having some fun. I was in a scalp short yesterday, and I took profits on 26,666. After which IG Craig here in YouTube took a long, exactly. So we exchanged hands. So that was quite funny. Try an iced tea next time. Yeah, I think that's actually a good idea. I'm not educated enough to think of that, or my IQ is not high enough, especially not in that heat, to think like, hey, maybe I should drink something cold. Mike, when you expect a retracement, is there a typical dip you look for, and is it too late for too long, for instance, right now when it's up? Okay, so yeah, so that is, I think, a question that a lot of people have. So I will address this. So I said prior in the stream, is this a good time to long? And my answer is no. Right now, it's not a good time to long. However, if we reclaim this really big channel, right, then we might have a potential opportunity in the future, in the near future. So let me demonstrate. Let me demonstrate. There we go. Let me clean that up. Macro channel up. This was the one that I was looking for. I have the feeling this is... Well, anyway, the concept is as follows. I think I dragged the line down for some reason, but doesn't matter. It's not relevant. So right now, right here, we have not busted out of this range yet. However, if we do, and we do something like this, then there will be a point in time, that can be next week or in 2 weeks, where we will top out, I think, before we're going to even see higher prices. When that retracement comes in, very much so like here, right? This was the same idea. When we were set at over here, is this a good time to long? No. Did we went higher? Yes, we did. But did we ultimately retrace on the higher time frame? Yes, we did. So we came back to exactly that level as where 3 months ago people were asking, hey, should I long now? I would say if you, at that point in time, if you would long, you would probably get wrecked on the lower time frames. And that's just a cold and harsh truth there is. Because you do have daily fluctuations, right? Where this might, like it went up in a straight line. As a matter of fact, let me just cut off part of the chart, and I've not prepared this, but we do have fluctuations. So let's say, is it good to long? Let's say over here. Look at that. This is on a 5-minute chart at that range where we're happening. We had that top, and then boom, we had like this really actually quite a large retracement, which literally was 10%. 10%. So, on a higher time frame, it looks like nothing, but on the day, you don't really want a long here, right? So you want that move out first, and then you want to see that higher time frame retracement coming in ultimately, such as the one that we had now. And also, for example, the same story. Is this a good time to long right now? No. Is this a good time? Well, better, right? And then ultimately we had that full-on retracement, and then we made that new high, right? So I would say wait for the move. You don't really want to trade in the middle of the move, so you want to wait till that move is calming down, right? And starts a range, and that is the moment where the market is coming back into balance. And that is where you can make like trading decisions and make new plans on what the next move is going to be. At the moment, the move is just ongoing. So, and as you can see, there's very little structure, even on the low time frames. So technically, if Bitcoin wants, it could definitely do this. It could do that. And you don't want to be the person that anticipates on that $40,000. Yes, we might get it, and I do expect it, but what if it doesn't? What if it doesn't and we just drop straight down? This is going to cost you dearly. And if you don't know what you're doing, it can hurt your portfolio beyond repair. So might as well keep the money that you currently have in your pocket and just wait for a good opportunity next, right? That would be my recommendation, and that is not financial advice. I have to mention that. Hopefully that helps you a little bit, you all a little bit, because I do think it's kind of important. It's very important. Psychology, the mind can play heavy tricks on you, especially when the market moves heavily. That's the time to just stay calm. Have you got an update on the high time frame Elliott wave? Well, I kind of already mentioned it a few times. Overall, I still think we might be in an overall B wave. Locally or on the mid-term time frame, I'm under the impression that this has been a wave 4, right? And that we're now currently moving on towards a wave 5, where we might see a much larger correction later on in time. And that can present new opportunities. But the details of that I don't have currently, and I will do that in another stream. For a scalp short. Yeah, so currently I'm not scalping, and I'm just simply not interested in shorts. But yes, you can scalp this short if you want. Or you do need to keep in mind that if you're scalping this, we are in a strong uptrend, so you do need to definitely keep your risk management in check and take aggressive profits. In my opinion, I'm not interested in shorts at the moment. Do you use different accounts for scalp and swing trades, or just different leverage to separate them on the same exchange? That's a valid and good question. Yes, I have many different accounts that I trade on. So yeah, I do have separate accounts for different purposes. Swing trading accounts, I have multiple day trading accounts, and I have multiple scalp trading accounts. Thanks for the update. Was gone for months and missed all this crazy price action. Your clear expectations got me fully updated, and we're getting back into the market. Cheers. Welcome back, my friend. Happy to read your comment, and happy that you have found your way to the stream and that you are now fully updated, so that you, my friend, as well, are fully prepared on what's to come next. Finally, somebody not running for the pump up. Yeah, it's funny that this gets mentioned in this chat, because I saw all these streams popping up, right? As somebody who's now on YouTube, obviously I do want to know what the rest is thinking and what the rest is doing. And I saw all these streams popping up like, oh, Bitcoin to $100,000 now, the bull market, blah blah blah. And then I was thinking like, all right, it's time for some sense to make for some sensible person to go live, and that's actually the reason why I really wanted to do this live stream. So there we go. There you go, guys. Plan on joining the premium access. Yes, that it is true that it is. I'm not necessarily saying this is meant for really experienced traders, but this is more focused on people who are already familiar with technical analysis concepts, and of course, the longer you spend in the group, the more opportunity you have to get into my head and as to how I think and how I approach the charts. And I'll be posting many charts, so you have plenty of opportunity to recreate those charts yourself as well. So it's not necessarily that it's not for beginners at all, right? I welcome beginner traders, but you have to realize that it's not a group where I'm going to create a video like, hey, this is how you pull a Fibonacci level, or this is how you put a horizontal level. It's a little bit more sped up, right? But if you have no knowledge of that, I do think there still is a lot of value that you can get out of it. But yeah, I am going to be honest, if you really want to learn all the way from scratch, if you've never done technical analysis ever before, then I recommend it's better to wait until the courses come out, because that is where I'm going to literally start from scratch, from zero to hero, essentially. Do you think Ethereum keeps underperforming Bitcoin? Also a good question. Ethereum ultimately is still in a massive sideways range. Very quiet. Usually when Bitcoin is very volatile, altcoins, including Ethereum, tend to not do that great. And over the past 4 years that I have been trading altcoins, or 5 years, this has never changed. And thus, let me just really quickly take a look. Yeah, obviously the Bitcoin value is going down currently, so the BTC pair naturally goes down because Bitcoin goes up. So, you have less Ethereum for more Bitcoin, or the other way around. So that makes sense. As far as the USDT pair, I'm guessing, I haven't really looked at it today, to be fair, so I'm guessing that has went up, yeah, obviously, because Bitcoin is becoming worth more, and naturally the USDT pairs then follow along as well. But the underlying strength, yeah, at the moment, I would say Ethereum is still really, really, really range bound, quiet market, and within that range, kind of looks a little bit like a similar retracement as to Bitcoin, right? That we've done. Really big pump, and then over very long time, this is a year right now, we have been in a downtrend within that range. So currently it is indeed losing support. That is true within the range. And I do think this could go further down, but ultimately to become really bearish on Ethereum, we would really need to lose this weekly level. As long as that doesn't happen, for me, Ethereum remains range bound. If you put that into the larger context of that coming out of a accumulation range, boom, and since then having like this really massive, reaccumulation zone. As long as we maintain that range, I'm not worried about Ethereum, and I remain bullish on the macro perspective. Let me see. Oh, this is an interesting one. I do want to address that. Let me read some other questions. What do you think about the chance of a range between 31 and 25? Yeah, I mean, that is definitely possible. 100% possible. Although I do think it does make more sense now that after having this consolidation, because this was market structure-wise a downtrend, right? But it all was on relatively low volume. So the volatility was there, but the volume was not there. So this is actually a very healthy retracement if you connect it to the bigger context. right? It was more like something along the lines of a bull flag. This is only fully confirmed if we actually, reclaim this high. Until then, we definitely do have the possibility to get something along the lines of this. And for that, it's simply too early to say. At the moment, I think it's more probable that after 3 months of consolidating downwards, basically having this downward sloping channel, we would see continuation. That is what I kind of expect. And if it doesn't, then I'm definitely open for this becoming an even bigger range. However, if we start, I also mentioned in the stream a few weeks ago, I think in the last live stream, I also said, like, if this range continues for much longer, then I'm gonna have to change my stance, leaning a little bit more bearishly, because then I would say, like, hey, this actually has been part of this entire section all along, right? So to be honest, for a bullish perspective, I would really prefer us to break out, well, not now, but this week or next week or so, rather than having another rotation, because I think I'm not such a big fan of that, and it would make me definitely a lot more cautious on the bullish bias that I currently have. I would need to rethink my stance then. So it is possible, but it would impact my high-term time frame bias, most likely. But as long as it doesn't happen, we have to wait for this data to come in. So right now, it's just pure speculation. Oh, right. I've already marked it because I know myself and I read over it and then I forget to answer it. How have you traded past halvings? Is there something that you are expecting to happen in TA? This is also a good question. I believe we have the halving next year. So personally, I'm a technical trader. I don't care whether we have the halving or not. However, if you look at the history, let me actually see if I actually have that still on. This is one of the first charts I've ever made. I remember that from all the way when I started. Yeah. So this is quite. I'm long and chill right now, right? So I'm just relaxing. This is a form of relaxing for me. And wow, actually look how crazy. So I have made this chart, I think, when I was starting to learn technical analysis. This was in 2018, something like that. 2017, can't remember. I've made this chart then. And I'm a little bit sad to say that I haven't looked at that chart ever since, until I think somebody, I've posted it a few times, I think, throughout the years, but never really paid much attention to it. And the crazy thing is that I wish I would have looked at it, because look how crazy accurate it is. So while I'm not necessarily trading this marks periods, right? This is like this cycles where I have the halvings marked. So what typically happens, at least what I've studied all the way back then, is that you have post halving price action and pre. I think I even copied this chart from something or someone or something like that, and then I expanded upon it. Anyway, it is pretty accurate, but essentially what I would say is that you have like your bear market, and then you have usually you have like a really long accumulation zone, right? And then you have like this rise just before the halving, and then while the halving is happening, usually a really big consolidation phase. Which is funny, because this is where a lot of people are starting to get really emotional and thinking like, oh my god, the halving is there, where actually the halving itself, as you can see over here, is actually quite boring. It's actually quite boring. It is before and like quite a while after the halving that you actually get your price action. Now, obviously, history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. So if anything, we've now seen 3 times or 2 times. No, wait, 3 times the similar price action. On this chart, it's not possible to put it on log scale, unfortunately. So I cannot show you. This past price action. But yeah, it did happen similar. One thing to do keep in mind is that during this bull market, the dynamics of the market definitely changed, because a lot of bigger players, a lot of funds and a lot of ETFs, etc., 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 did join the market, which was definitely not the case in this entire time. So the market has changed. And while I do think we can expect something similar, the details are probably going to be vastly different. So a bit of a long answer, but I just found it fun to show. But yeah, that's my thoughts. In any case, for me, it doesn't really matter too much, because I will be trading this off of technical analysis. If we ultimately end up getting a range here, I'm just going to trade the range, right? While keeping the context in mind, and maybe expect higher prices or not, depending on what the situation is then. So I'm not really taking it into account. I'm not really actively making investment or trading decisions based off of that. Yeah, really in-depth answer, actually. But yeah, why not? Why not? Why not, guys? I'm having fun. I hope you guys are also having fun. And I do think I'm gonna call it a day on the stream, because I can't stand the heat anymore. Simple as that. And also, I just don't have much more to say about Bitcoin. So let me just round this up and wish you all a great evening. Real quick summary. As it stands, currently I expect higher prices. Prices now coming a little bit of, is starting to range a little bit, deciding on what it's gonna do next. Based on the situation that we've seen over the last few days, very, very, very bullish breakout. For me, the biggest bullish sign was shown within this wick, as we were having this range showing at the time bearish CVD divergence, a lot of longs getting trapped, boom, getting them all wrecked, and closing back within the channel, and just basically not looking back at all, leaving behind a lot of people that are now starting slowly but surely, supporting the trend thus far, as it is searching for larger resistance, which we have obliterated all of the larger resistance. So the only real resistance up here is really this well, $31,000 really. That's all there is pretty much to it. And then I would foresee higher prices, of which $32,000 next, then we have $36,000, $38,000, and then increments of thousands. There's all confluence above these levels, and then ultimately $48,000. Although by the time that happens, I will already have been doing a few live streams anyway, because that's not gonna happen tomorrow. That is one guarantee that I can give you in the market. If it does, I'm not going to complain, but I simply don't expect that to happen. So those are the levels to the upside. This remains bullish, very, very, very bullish immediately on the immediate term, as long as we stay above, well, essentially this range, right? Which is set in between 29 and 28,500. Lose that level, then I would say that's a first sign of weakness. And then we're going to see how that bounce is going to come from there. And we can simply take our next decision and go from there. So until then, I expect higher prices. Bitcoin has awakened. The beast has awakened. Final words, I guess. I expect higher prices. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you have interest in checking out what the community is, go visit our website. The Nightbot is literally now giving the links in the chat, and take a look, and hopefully see you there. So have a really great evening, and thank you for joining in, guys. Have a really